Good day to you from wherever you are, and we trust you are well. Welcome to today's topic, resource allocation and utilization. And why is this important, you may ask? I always ask this question before we start the topic because you need to know the essence and the need for why you are learning a particular topic, a particular course or module. Resources is what governs our organization. Every single time, we are either taking out from a resource or we are trying to create more resources. Why? Because resources is what helps us be able to create values for our customers. And resources are all around us. You may not even, maybe the one we know or we think about most is financial and human resource. But there are a lot of more resources that an organization needs part-time to be successful. Resource allocation is the process of distributing an organization's available resources to different activities, projects, or departments. Effective resource utilization involves making the most of these resources to achieve organizational goals and objectives. The topic we will be focusing on today is the use of various resources such as financial capital, human resource, technology, equipment, and materials. One thing about resource from our basic economics is that resource is always scarce. It's not always enough. Even to the biggest companies, there comes a time where the available resource is not enough to push for more value. What is man meant to do in that situation is to use the available resource to achieve operational efficiency. What are we supposed to do in that case is to use the available resource to achieve operational excellence. Now let's dive into it. The first is for us to identify and categorize this organizational resource. So we have the financial resource, we have the human resource, we have the technological resource, then we have the physical resources. Now let's look at financial resource. Financial resource includes capital, budget, funding, and investment. And let's look at each of them. Capital sometimes, like the word capital expenses, is the money you need to start or to expand a business. So a lot of times, these capital expenses are one-off. For example, you need to buy a gadget in the office, maybe a laptop, for example. It's once you buy that laptop, you don't need to buy that same laptop for that same person. That purpose has been done. So that's capital expenses. It's one, sometimes most of the time they are asset based. The next is budget. Budget means something you always plan for every month, every week, every day. And that means that when considering resources, we need to also project in the next 1 month what are the resources I'm going to need to keep on offering this value. And sometimes we see those resources in the budget as operational expenses. So we have things like utilities, rent, marketing, sales activities, travels, data, internet, all of those things are budget expenses. Then finally, we have the funding financial resource. And what does this even mean? A lot of times, we need money to augment for our budget deficit. Sometimes we need money to augment our capital expenses. How do we get this money? And that's where funding comes in. Sometimes it comes in form of loan, sometimes it comes in form of investment, sometimes it comes in form of grant, and sometimes they are even soft, maybe between loan and investment. The next is human resource. And for human resource, we consider skill set. Skills are very important resources to make the human resource work optimally. For example, take the marketing department. You have a marketing department where you don't have someone that knows how to make design, someone that knows how to make video content. In 2023, it means that marketing department is obsolete. And sometimes we need to take in more skills. They need to learn more skills to make sure that they're able to keep offering value. Don't forget, resources are what help companies to keep on offering value time after time. Then the employees themselves are a very important resource. It means how they feel, their welfare, what they think about the job, everything around them forms a level of resources. And that's why when the labor staff go on strike, the entire country is grounded because these people determine what goes on in the economy. Then we see knowledge. So there's a difference between knowledge and skill. Sometimes knowledge is what contributes to skill. And knowledge can be gotten maybe by courses, like what you are doing and getting knowledge. It's not yet a skill, it's still a knowledge. sometimes by taking courses, sometimes by being around people that knows how to do these things. They keep gathering knowledge, until a time when those knowledge becomes skill, things they can work out, things they can work with. And finally, on the human resource, we have the expertise. Skills come together with knowledge, come together with attitude, come together with a lot of things from expertise. And so we need to be sure that our staff are growing. As the company is growing, the staff must keep growing. If not, they will not be relevant to keep providing value in their particular space. So every manager, every business owner owes the staff the ability to grow. You must ensure that they keep growing in expertise. Take for example a video team. The video they shot last week should be different from the video they're shooting this week. You should keep getting better. So if you're having the same thing over and over again, it means there's no growth in the department. And likewise every other department. So please ensure that your team is growing. The next is technological resources, and of course in recent times this has become very paramount. We can't even do anything without technology. It's not really thrown out. Take for example a content creation company that doesn't use maybe ChatGPT or AI to produce some level of content. You may not be able to compete in terms of speed with other companies that offer the same. Now, I'm not saying that AI will be used to generate all of the information you would use, but it's sort of bring like a framework for you to be able to use. And this is also applicable in every other function and every other company. We have technological resources such as hardware, software, tools, and IT infrastructure. And last but not the least are physical resources. These are resources that we can feel, we can touch, they're tangible, they're physical. Things like land, like property, like machinery, and things like that. Now we've identified all of these resources. How do we efficiently use them in our workplace, in our businesses? The first is priority-based allocation, and this is where we allocate resources based on the importance and urgency of tasks and projects. The next is cross-functional collaboration, sharing resources across different teams or departments to avoid duplication. We have to ensure that every department knows what every department is working on, and this can even be with an enterprise system or a software or a platform that ensures that everybody sees what everybody is doing. So we don't have duplicate efforts or department and loggerheads. The next is flexible allocation. This helps us adapt resource allocation as priorities and requirements change. Because we live in a world that is changing and we can't keep doing things in a particular way. We need to be flexible. And the departments that we also lead also need to be flexible, such that at every given point in time that things have changed in the industry, in the market, we're able to quickly rechannel our resources to be able to flow with that tide. So the next is data-driven decisions. And this is the use of data and analytics to allocate resources where they will have the greatest impact. And this is really key. This is like the crown of it all. For us to be able to allocate resources, we need to have data that backs that allocation based on our trends. This is when we should pump marketing into the market. This is where we should pump it. The where, the when, the who, the why, the how, everything should be based on data and analytics. The last but not the least for today is balancing short-term needs with long-term resource sustainability. Resource allocation requires a delicate balance between short-term needs and long-term sustainability. While addressing immediate demand is important, organizations must also consider the long-term availability and maintenance of resources. Overcommitting resources for short-term gains could lead to resource depletion or hinder the organizational ability to innovate and grow in the future. Striking the right balance is important in maintaining the balance between short-term goals and long-term sustainability. So it is important for you to have a long-term mind, a 5 years mind, and of course come down and have a 1 year mind, 3 months mind, and a 1 month mind. It just helps you to be far and narrow in terms of resource allocation. So you need to ensure that you know that you need to make decisions based on your sight of the long term and your understanding of the short term. Don't compromise one for the other, and your business will be on the way to so much progress. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Speak soon.